In August of 2016, Hello Games released No Man's Sky, a game full of promise but ultimately riddled with flaws. Skip forward 10 years and things have changed drastically. Not only have Hello Games succeeded in one of the most spectacular redemption arcs in gaming, they have since gone on to support the game with free updates, creating an experience even above and beyond initial expectations. As great as an experience No Man's Sky is, there's a niggling problem inherent with a lot of solitary open world games: loneliness. I've read quite a few accounts now of people having played the game for hundreds, if not thousands of hours, and never coming across another player. Obviously this isn't necessarily an inherently bad thing. A game as vast and epic in scope as No Man's Sky always had the risk of running into this problem. And one of the cool things about the game is that when it does happen, it's all the more magical. So I was exploring and fishing and building corvettes and building bases when I came across a paradise planet. I found a cosy place near a lake to set up, and after starting to build my base, the Villa Straylight, I logged off and thought nothing of it. But when I logged back on, the weirdest thing happened. Dozens and dozens of bases started to emerge. At first it was very surreal, almost dreamlike, but pretty soon I started to wonder, what were the people doing? What kind of bases were they building? What kind of lives were they living? I'd made up my mind. I was going to visit every single one of them. As I set off towards the first base, I noticed I hadn't named the planet. Since I was the one that first discovered the Paradise Planet, the discovery is given the privilege of naming the planet, so I named it Neuromancer after my favourite novel. I then started wondering if the rest of the community would be okay with this. After all, it is a permanent name change. I noticed there was a community base and wondered if I should have gone and asked the chieftain or the Jarl if it was okay. As I bound my way towards the base with my custom jetpack, I wondered what kind of sights would await me. It was very chill. The architecture was like a cool breeze on a hot summer's day. I was definitely getting some solar punk vibes from it. But it was this bar that really took my breath away. So much painstaking attention to detail. It seemed every nook and cranny was crammed full of trinkets and oddities. Right down to the stove, the wok, the microwave. There was an eerie sense it had been lived in. And what I couldn't get over is, all of this was built in the matter of a couple of days by a mysterious human creator. I thought the decor was genuinely beautiful, and I could see myself living in such a place. I wonder what kind of dreams the owner of this had in order to create such a beautiful aesthetic. For some reason this little contraption reminded me of a Japanese Suica card machine. Down this corridor we had some nice greenery, and outside an alien landed. It could have been the artist of this lovely abode, but I suspected it was an NPC. The corridors and interior had a very natural look to them, and I just loved this legally distinct ATST Walker statue. There was also a holographic representation of the star system, and further on down the corridor a dinosaur statue. As I exited the base, I wondered what other architectural gems would await me, and I was excited to explore the world further. Dragon House was a very imposing base. It was such a stark contrast from the sunny solarpunk vibes of the previous base. It had almost a gothic architectural fantasy feel to it, and I imagine it wouldn't look out of place in a Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings episode. Visiting at night only added to the gothic vibes of the place, and as I ascended the stairs that seemed to go on forever, I wondered if I'd be confronted with an image of myself, like a Luke Skywalker or a prisoner. From an architectural point of view, each base seemed to bring something new to the table. In a world full of AI creations, this was refreshing to say the least. My torch beam casting light on the stairs and the side of the rock really accentuates the organicness of the structure. Making this over the course of a few years would be impressive enough, but again, doing this in such a small space of time seems almost superhuman. Eventually I made it to the top of the tower, and I was met with a broken teleporter along with some more ancient labyrinthine stairs. And perhaps the best of all is the most beautiful alien vista you're ever likely to see. I was also met by this fireplace which acted as a save point, and when I touched it, a light came out. A respite in a cold alien world for weary travellers. The third base I came to was a little inhospitable to say the least, and I was forced to dispatch a load of hazardous flora in order to gain access to the architecture. I must admit the first hut I came across didn't really impress me. The foundations seemed unfinished, although they only built this in a matter of days, so given that information it was still impressive. Inside the hut was an effigy of a traveller. Venturing further though revealed a much more impressive structure, a much more ambitious vision. Oddly enough, this gave me the vibe of Mos Eisley from Star Wars. Once again, the way the architecture had been seamlessly integrated into the biome of this part of the planet was very impressive. Inside, the interior had plenty of crates and containers, and there was plenty of windows pointing outside, showing off the complex structure of the almost village-like base. The use of stone gave it a very natural feel, like it had been handcrafted by ancient knowledge passed down from generation to generation. But there was also modern trappings with curved, futuristic furniture. This mini village stroke base seemed to go on for ages, but I wasn't prepared for what awaited me. As I ventured further, I noticed there were some dinosaurs and fossils on display. And just waxing lyrical about the Hello Games design for a second, don't you just love how alien but at the same time familiar this dinosaur looks? But the best was definitely yet to come. As I ascended the stairs, I was met with a fully blown museum, complete with fossils, plaques, and a lovely skylight roof that cast light on all of the exhibits. Looking around the base, I was just staggered with the sheer creativity of all the wonderful, and I felt blessed that such a talented group of individuals would be kind enough to inject their beauty into the world. So please let me know which of the bases you liked, and I want to give a big shout out to all of the creative individuals on Neuromancer 777. Sorry if I didn't get around to covering your base, but I do plan to do more in the future. So please like and subscribe if you like the video, and if you like the bases, please show the artist some love. Bye for now.